Hi guys, it's me, it's Nick. I still don't have an intro for this. So basically, well, you can see the final result there, but basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about this tournament matchup with me and Adonijah. I am Atletico, the team on the right. He is Liverpool, the team on the left. And basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna talk about what happens throughout the game and what I can improve, what Adonijah might be able to improve, and basically just give post match analysis and commentary as the game goes on and like talk about certain moments. You can see, you might have seen, it's like 28 minutes. I don't know if this video is gonna be 28 minutes. Um, I'm gonna try not to make it that long, but I can't make any guarantees. So just stick with me. Hopefully this is gonna be nice. So right now, what we're doing is we're talking about um, how they like fix the stream and like make sure I'm here. You can hear me because on his you can't hear me unless you have like headphones in. Because I don't know if you guys can see this. There you go. I have this type of headphones, and so basically, I have to whenever I'm speaking, I have to have the mic like right up to my mouth like this, in order for you to be able to hear me, and that's even to hear it slightly. And so since I normally just throughout the match I just wore my headset just like this, you could barely hear me because it's like I'm not pulling it up like this or something like that. So basically, so I'm gonna talk about pre-match stuff. So he had a 4-1-2 into second. I said that his key player would be Firmino because Firmino helps to link up the play, and it would be a huge third option scoring. And I said Henderson because Henderson, you can't see this here, but hold up, I'm going to pause this so I can talk about my tactics and why Henderson affects that. So I had a 4-4-2 base with Atletico Madrid, Falish left striker, Morata right striker, Falish on false nine, which means he like drops to the midfield to receive passes, and he'll like help start the attacks. And Morata was on get in behind, which basically what that does is he plays on the shoulder of the last guy. So in this case, it'll be Van Dijk. Uh, and so what he'll try and do is he'll run as fast as he can in a straight line to try and beat the last man, which normally it didn't really work, but he would run in a straight line and he'll hopefully try and create a chance from that. Both Carrasco and Correa were both on the left mid and right mids, and it was on basic defense and get him behind for both. I think one of them was free roam. I think it was Correa was free roam and Carrasco was stay wide. Saul was the left center mid, Koke right center mid, Trippier right back, Lodi left back. Both of them were on stay back and overlap with conservatives and interceptions. And then the center backs were left center back Felipe, right center back Jimenez, goalie all black. But both Saul and Koke were stay back while attacking and stay on the edge of the box. So where Henderson comes in is Falish and Saul were the two players that I said. You can hear. I don't know if you can hear me in the stream when I say in Adonijah's video. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna do post-match analysis, talk about what happened himself, or do his commentary. But you can hear, even though half the time you can't hear me. Before the match, I think I did say that I said my two key players were going to be Saul and Falish because they are the two stars. And what Henderson does is Henderson has to lock up that side because Trent is very attacking. Both of his fullbacks were very attacking. They provide width for his team. And if they can't do anything, or if they're not defensively there, then Henderson's going to be the last man basically with Gomez, whom he said, Adonijah, said that Gomez would be his important player. So that's what the tactics were. And so I wanted to focus on possession, which I wanted to have 55%, that would have been pretty good for me because I had the majority of the ball. I wanted to create at least 2 phenomenal scoring chances, and I wanted to limit Adonijah to less than 5 shots. Adonijah, on the other hand, wanted to do counterattacking and possession, which normally that doesn't work out, but he did make it work in this game. He did it perfectly well. He did perfect counterattacks. He found the space, all that stuff. He had a lot of the ball, and he said that the second thing would be to limit my chances, which it's just a preview. He did all 3 perfectly right. He played it absolutely perfect. He could not have played it better than those 3 things. And so I gave up a lot of counterattacks, and he had the ball in those counterattacks a lot of the time. I think he ended up at like 55% possession. But at this moment, we're figuring out our instructions and our tactics. So Adonijah is playing narrow, and I'm playing a very defensive formation. So before the game, this is actually the first game of the tournament. So whether you think it or not, I had a lot of pressure on me to win because you guys didn't see this, but before this, me and Adonijah played a lot. I played him like 7 times. I think 2 or 3 matches, 2 for sure were competitive, and then one of those he probably should have won. He ended up losing that one 4-0, but it could have been 2-1 for a long time. The other one he lost 4-2 after coming back from 2-0 down, and then the third match it was like 2-0. It was like 1 goal each half at the end of the half. So it was like those 3 of the 7 were like competitive, but the rest were absolute blowouts. It was more just me trying to help him get a better player. So we hadn't played in like a week or so, and like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and he's gotten a lot better. So with that in mind, with the 3 things that we each wanted to do, and I said that his key players were going to be Firmino, Henderson. He said Gomez. I said my key players are going to be Saul, and you guys in the background can see that we're trying to fix the stream. My sound quality wasn't that good. But my key players, I said, were going to be Felix and Saul. With that in mind, let's try and get into this match. This is going to take a while. Yeah, so at this point, I'm figuring out my tactics. So, yeah. Oh, man, this must have been a real... Oh, there you go. Yeah. Alright, so, we decided not to skip any of the cinematics because we wanted the full experience the first game back. There you can see Mane. It's in Anfield. He's the home player, or he's playing at home this game, and he starts off with a few crossfield passes that I'm not marking, which is very smart since they're clear open chances instead of like moving it to his midfielders. You can see like right there, that's what I'm trying to bait him to. He takes his time, is very calm, finds the open space. Watch that pass. That was very clever. Unfortunately, he took a touch and it kind of counted him. And then the first semi-chance is Morata, but Van Dijk gets across, and Morata doesn't get a shot off. It's very poor defending on the through ball, but very good defending to recover from that. And so now he's just looking for an open man. He makes a mistake. This is where the nerves are starting, and you can clearly see that's not normally what he would do. He doesn't normally do that. So the nerves were setting in for both of us at this point. Me with taking a few touches, trying to not control, not mess up, see an opening, see Felix getting ready for a shot. He recovers well again. He's not doing well on the third balls, but he recovers well on the actual chance to stop the shots, and he did that all game long. Finds Salah, who was onside, and this is the first big chance. He took a touch. I mean, you can't do that against All Black, especially when I'm running out of keeper. And that was a big chance. That would have been the nerve settler for him at least. For me, it would have just janged up my nerves, So clever through balls. I kept finding down the space on those full backside skins. I knew they were attacking. Did a Ronaldo chop, almost got him with that. But in that case, I need to get the ball up as quick as possible or do a drag back to get the scenario open again. Take my time passing because I knew I wouldn't get a lot of chances. Poor corner, I should have taken it short to get a guaranteed pass because headers on this game are broken. He gets through with Mane. I thought I tackled him there. Gets the ball back. I thought I tackled him a third time, but he keeps getting forward. Mane with chances. Salah, very predictable at this point. The game was lagging a little bit. We were talking about to each other. It was like, you're lag switching me. I was like, no, you're lag switching me, all that stuff. But yeah, very predictable from there from Adonijah. And so what I would try to do in this scenario is, what I should have done was pass the ball around a little bit more instead of giving it away instantly and letting him on the front foot. Adonijah has been doing very well in this game. I remember this in finding the open space and getting the open man. Even if it meant passing back and starting the attack over again, he did it well. He found space over and over until he got to this point. He would do whatever he want. Questionable shot. I don't know if he meant that. But again, nerves, that's another sense of nerves. That's not a good pass. And it got intercepted as such. Saul found João Felix. Morata nearly got that through. In that case, I guess a chip through ball might have been the way, or an instant double pass or something like that. But Adonijah at this point is bossing the game. I've had like 2 semi openings, but no actual chance. Adonijah's had 2 chances, one hit and hope, and then another one. That's a bad pass that should never be done. But at this point, Adonijah's doing it. I'm clearly the more nervous of the two. He's very calm in this scenario. This is what I mean by making like nerves. You know, like that's not a good decision. I mean, hold up. Let me go back a little. So look right there, right, not there. There's an opening down to the center mid, down towards the middle, and then there's a fullback coming up, Lodi. So I could have passed to either one of those two. Instead, I took the forward pass instead of making a for sure pass. But here's what I mean by Robertson and Trent going forward. They're bombing forward in attack, creating chances. Very good read. If I had missed that up, he would have gotten through. And Trippier, again, more space down the flanks. I used that a lot in the game, and it came in through very late in the game. That was a poor pass. Should have set up and then waited for another opening or done a drag back and found Koke, who was, I think, getting forward at that point. And again, fullback width. They're just bombing forward, you know, as Liverpool do. Again, pull pass, should have passed back to the goalie or just cleared it. But again, Salah, this is the first real chance, and that was just magnificent defending. He's offside. It was a good pass, but a second too late. Look, watch. It was perfect defense. You could see me using. You could see me tell that I knew I wouldn't be able to stop it. So I moved the guy there, right there, to get him offside. And it worked perfectly because he was offside and it denied a chance. It was a major moment in the game. I think we both started settling down a little bit after that. We got into our own rhythm. And so at this point, you can clearly tell he's the better of the two of us at this point in the match. You know, he's definitely created the better chances. I think at this point he was he was lowering the sound of the commentary in the stadium and all that stuff so he could hear me a little bit better. It didn't really work because, again, I didn't have it like pressed up to me because I felt it really uncomfortable. I didn't have it like this the entire time. I thought that was uncomfortable for me, so I ended up just having it like that. So I don't think it really made much of a difference. But I just ended up having it like this, so it was just hanging on my side. It didn't really work out for the sound. So if you watch his video, which I highly recommend, you'll just hear his voice basically, unless you have headphones in. If you have headphones in, you might be able to pick up the sound of me talking every once in a while, but it's very hard to hear me and decipher me. I wouldn't recommend. I would just recommend muting it. If you're looking for commentary, this is probably gonna be the one. If you just want to hear Adonijah's voice, then watch his. But that was the nerve settler for me. Now I'm playing my proper football, looking for the space, finding the space, abusing the flanks. Again, that was very well worked. Not a great pass, but, you know, again, the attack wasn't going to go anywhere. So Morata finding Carrasco, poor pass, but he cleared it because he was trying to tackle me, so it auto-cleared him, and that got intercepted, and then I got intercepted again. But again, predicting where he's going to go, I saw the gaps. I would try to plug up the gaps. Correa, Robertson kept getting abused down this left-hand flank, or not left-hand flank, the right-hand flank. And in the second half, Trent would get abused on his side. Saul, Morata, Felix, and then this is the perfect example of what you need to do in this scenario. And it created a clear opening, took a shot, stayed calm, took a touch, and finished it perfectly. Opa Atleti, 1-0 just like that. Anfield is quieted just like that. It was perfectly worked in that scenario. The drag back cleared up so much space, and then most importantly, I took my time and I finished up my first great chance of the match. In fact, I think it was my first shot of the game at this point, 38 minutes in, but I was the more clinical of the two. Adonijah had 2 great chances. One was fantastic defending, the other one was smart defending, if that makes sense. Second one would be the smart defending. The first one is fantastic defending by bringing out the keeper. Mane, again, Robertson bombing forward, finding the space. Normally he would have crossed beforehand, but he took his time and decided to have possession. Unfortunately, I predicted where he was going to go right back to that side, or more towards the middle. And so I kept predicting and kept stifling him. In that section, I kept trying to predict where he would go in that middle section, and he kept clogging up the area. Smart plays right there. At this point, I thought I would through. He read it, went to Morata, who laid it off Correa, could have been another chance, but he doesn't get the shot off. That's one of those where it's, maybe a drag back works, but it was just great defending at the last second. Van Dijk, nothing you can do about that. Carrasco. Now it's Henderson. Salah, I was brought my keeper to bait him, and then he passed it back. Trent, I was nervous. I knew he was going to Salah there. So I tried to close down that little section, and I ended up tackling him with Lodi. And then I got the whistle for halftime, and 1-0 just like that. So I'll show you the stats. I'll talk about what at the time I thought I needed to improve on. And it was, at this point, it was still jangly for both of us. We were mentioning it to each other. It's like I had all the pressure because now I have the lead with Atletico Madrid, who, if you guys know soccer, you know the defensive. I mean, look at that. Not many chances, but there were 2 chances, and they both came to each of the men. Salah's chance, and then Wijnaldum's counts as a shot on target. It was like a tackle shot, and then his Salah chance was probably the biggest match other than my Felish chance. So I think the majority of people would say Adonijah was winning. I mean, look at the possession, the pass accuracy, everything was all in favor of him. He just gave up the one clear chance that, to me, which you can't really do against me. I value my finishing. I think I'm one of the better finishers on this game. And I showed it in this game. I mean, you'll see at the end, he had way more chances than me. But at this point, we were talking about how he could get in the match and how I could get back in the match. I thought he would just do what he kept doing, what he do, find the open man, use the flanks, and what I could do to. You guys didn't see this here, but his controller died a little bit, so that's why that happened. So basically, what I could do to keep this lead up going was A, stand sturdy defensively, don't let anything down through the middle, and B, use those flanks to create more and more offense. Okay, so at this point, his controller's dying, so now he's checking to see if it works, and it's working now. So then we're back to this. Yeah. I'll skip forward 10 seconds. I think that should be enough. Yeah, okay, hold on. Let's go back. So basically, I told him if I give you the ball, just give it back to me so we can have our kickoff, basically. Every possession in this game counted. So he gave it right back to me. Lodi, Saul, I think that's Joel Felish, Koke, Felish, Saul. I didn't know if Lodi was actually a referee. That's the problem with playing at Anfield, is that you don't know. And then again, good pass, or bad pass idea, but good spatial awareness. Found Saul, found Felish, found Saul. I thought this should have been a pen for obstruction, but EA, that's just not a pen in FIFA, So he's finding great space. This is, again, another counterattack. This is what he wanted to do at the start. I knew where he was going, but I didn't think he'd pass it there. And he almost capitalized. It was a poor decision, but Salah was offside, and then it gave him a chance. You need to capitalize on those chances. I mean, he had a 3v2 and technically a 2v1 in some sense. And then the jangly, again, all black with coming down for the cross. That trait comes in so heavily in that moment. And again, another thank yous, but I'm giving up the chances, and I'm not really creating them my own. Morata, but as a speak of the devil, created a chance. That's a very weak shot. Again, should have taken a touch and then done a drive back instead of shooting first time. It's not FIFA 19. I shouldn't have done that. Again, finding space. Robertson, Mane, again predictable to a degree. Left Firmino open. Had the trekking back with Trippier, who came in front, and yes, it said he got blocked. He blocked it, but then it hit Firmino off the block and went out of bounds, so I got another possession. I think at this point, is this the one where I didn't know if Lodi was the referee? No. Is it? It might be, but that's the problem with playing at Anfield. That's why I don't really like playing at Anfield, is the fact that A, there's just a mystique about it, even in the video game, and B, for the fact that, again, 1-2, nothing can happen from there. The fact that it's really hard with the shadow sometimes to know where your players are, So for Firmino, good spatial awareness, but unfortunately didn't really do much with it. Again, poor pass, considering the circumstances. I mean, Saul, great interception, great reads. Again, poor passes. Again, good reads to get into the space. I think this is his attack that he scores. Yeah, finding space, quick passes that are hard to intercept unless you're already in the space. And then watch that. Look at the run Robertson makes. Perfectly placing the ball into the back of the net. I mean, headers are broken on this game, but I just want you guys to watch how Adonijah build up on this. This is exactly what he needed to do before game, and he did it perfectly at a crucial time, 65 minutes in. Watch this. Robinson, look at where Robinson is. Robinson just slowly trekking into the box and getting across to the space, and then it's a thumping header. It's an unstoppable header, and just like that, 1-1. I mean, Robertson's heading actually is like 60, but that couldn't have been any more perfectly placed. No chance for All Black. And at this point, I'm starting to feel seriously pressured because I gave up the chance that had been coming Adonijah's way. I gave it up. Yeah, this is the point where I didn't know what to do. Lodi gives the ball away poorly. Firmino, at this point, I'm like scared. I'm like, yo, I tell Adonijah, yo, I gotta make a sub. This is not going well. So Robertson, Wijnaldum, Lodi's tracking back. Or Trent, great great find to Trent, but terrible touch. And then Lodi intercepts it, but loses it instantly. I ended up getting it back. And again, this is what I mean, the space. The space came in so clutch at this point. Carrasco finding Falish, kind of questionable, but a perfect pass, and then Better Call Saul. Big man for the big occasions. The two men who I said would have to be key in this game stepped up massively in this game. Falish, a goal, one assist. He was my man of the match. I think Correa was definitely a shout. And then Saul, big man for the big occasion. Now, what you can't see here is I did make subs. I subbed out Lemar or Carrasco for Lemar, Partey for Correa, and I put Partey on. I'm gonna pause this so I can speak. And I put Partey on come back on defense and free roam, so he would like make the midfield a little bit more central. And then I put Hermoso for Felipe in case he made an attacking substitution. And what you guys didn't see here is at halftime or before my goal, after that 30th minute, I forgot to mention this. After that 30th minute offside, what I ended up doing is I switched to my attacking setup, which is a 4-4-1-1 Falish as false 9 again, or to get in behind. Everything basically same, except instead of like two strikers up top like this, it's like this, and then the midfielders underneath, and then the wingers, and it's the same other ways. But there you can see a clinical 2 shots, 3 shots, 3 on target, 2 great chances, and I took them both. Adonijah, hard done. What was it? Did he have 52% possession, 89% pass accuracy? You can see I grew into the game in the second half. I definitely had a better second half than first half, but what matters is the result at this point. Both halves I had gone up at some point, so I was very happy with that considering how I played and how well he was doing. I was very happy with that. I wanted to hold the lead, so I switched back to my 4-4-2, which again at this point, from 30 minutes to the 70th minute, I had been in 4-4-1-1. So then I switched, very great pass, perfectly placed, but Falish you can't see because of that top left-hand corner thing. But it was a flare pass, something that a flare trait, only a person with a flare trait could do. And Falish did it to where Van Dijk, even if he closed in, he wouldn't have been able to get to it. So it was an open shot. He's got to attack. He's got to try and get something from this game, and he quite frankly deserved something from this game. Salah, kind of a really weak, not kind of, it was a very weak shot. Lodi or Carrasco. At that point, I realized that Carrasco was not. Yeah, there it is. I couldn't tell that Lodi was on my team. I thought he was a ref. Then until I passed to him, I was like, oh, okay. But that was when I knew that my subs hadn't been made. So I had to finish out the final 15 minutes with like half-dead players on the wing, which stunk so much. But Koke, quietly doing every pass right, not really messing it up. He was a rock in the back. He was very calm. Good idea right there with Falish, but not really great execution. Shouldn't have done with Morata. Should have probably done with Koke. And then his player got in the way. He almost paid the price. Yeah, it wasn't really that great of a pass, and it should have been taken more calmly. But again, that's the nerves coming to the fray. At this point, there's 10 minutes left. Both of us are trying to hold on to he's trying to get through the attack again. Now he's starting to get desperate. You can clearly tell he is pressing basically, and so you could tell that he was desperate to get something, and you could tell that I was desperate to hold on to this. Good idea again, but not great executed. So what I could do different in that scenario is like straight up just stop, or do like drag back forward, if that makes sense, where it like drags back and then he goes forward. And if it was a sombrero flick, then a drag back sombrero flick would be effective there, but Not much could have done differently there other than a drag back forward, which could have created more space and then time. Failish, so this is just me just passing it around. Adonijah mentioned 4 minutes. I had an opening there, but I decided to, you know what, let's just keep the ball, keep this lead, finish this off, get this W on the first game, and just hopefully finish off. But I unfortunately lose it. Give Adonijah one more chance. I tell him this could be your last chance. Don't mess it up. As like a mind games, and he finds another space as he's done all his games. Robertson, that left hand flank, very weak, and then he finds a chance wide out on him. He saw me bring out the keeper, and that is the difference between us two this game. Composure, composure, composure. The better player overall showed his better composure, and that's something that you can't really predict for. I mean, it's not a good idea to chip with Wijnaldum, but it was such a great movement, and it deserved something better. He could have passed it down, taken a touch, passed it in, and shot near post, but he wasn't composed in the scenario, and that's the difference between players sometimes, is who's ready to react in the scenario, who's more calm in front of net. And in this game, I was, and that showed from 2 years of legitimate all-in experience versus a few weeks of training hard or playing hard and trying to learn the ins and outs, and it ended up showing. The final chance, I think, went to him, and he didn't take it because he wasn't composed in the scenario. And that's something that he could work on. Adonijah, if you're watching, that's something you can work on, is staying composed in the scenario, looking at all options, being ready for all scenarios. And as such, I finished the job off. I got 2-1. Matchday 1 starts off fine for me. Adonijah, tough loss, man. You were very good this game. You deserve to have something more. Okay, so this is the proof that we had played each other a lot of times before. I had won 3 times before, and so as such, I got the trophy since I had won 4 matches in a row. That's what that's for. But tough loss for Adonijah. He played very well. He was very smart with his decisions, and he did everything perfectly right with his counterattack possession and creating opportunities. Fortunately, he didn't take him. I did. He limited my opportunities very, very much. And look, I mean, the stats speak for themselves. I had 30 shots, 3 on target. He had 7 shots, 4 on target. I ended up getting more possession at the end. I brought it back. But at the end of the day, I was more composed. He wasn't. That was the difference. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a 2-1 win on Matchday 1. Now, Matchday 2, I will play Jose. His video will be on his channel. He will do a live stream, and then I will react to it as well. I will make my commentary just like this. Check out Adonijah. His channel is called Adonijah Mpinga, Mpinga. As Adonijah, Adonijah Mpinga, space in between. Give him a sub. He's worked very hard to get to this point. He's made definite improvements. And well, that's my reaction done. That's my post-match analysis. Now it's on to Matchday 2. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys all are doing fine. And well, see ya.